Good morning, everyone. Before we dive into it, just a quick note. There is a gray car with a flat tire by the east entrance. The license plate is D0BV411. So if that's your car, it has a flat tire. Okay, welcome to the First Unitarian Church of Hamilton. We welcome you here in the sanctuary and those who have joined us online. We ask that you turn off your cell phones during the worship service, with one important exception. Please feel free to use your phones to access our hearing assistance system, especially if you have a T-coil. My name is Sonia Kumar Saga. My pronouns are she and her, and I am this morning's worship leader. We welcome you today, whatever the circumstances of your life, in the many ways we identify as people, and in the diversity of how we love and live. In this house of faith, we are all included as we search for truth, build community, and strive to make the world a better place for all. Hamilton is situated upon the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississaugas. This land is covered by the covenants and treaties. We are, all of us, treaty people, original inhabitants and those who came later, inheritors of a diverse history, dwellers in a common land, and travelers toward a better day. We respect our treaty relationships and responsibilities to both the land and the original people who reside here. Please settle into your seat for this morning's prelude, an original song written by our musician, George.
So proud of what you've done. Look at you. You go out the next day, but it don't feel the same way. It's lost that fun in the sun. Feel it. And that's the way it goes. Waiting for you out there. Your future's all been told, it's already there. Waiting at your feet, and all those dreams you've ever had. Just the good ones, not the bad. And that's the way it goes. Songbirds love to sing. They sing their songs every day. You just stay, what a feeling. You bring your heart again to relive that day. It's just quiet and gray. You'll have to try again. And that's the way it goes. And everybody knows there's a love affair waiting out there somewhere. Your future's all been told, it's already there, waiting at your feet. And all those dreams you've ever had, just the good ones, not the bad. And that's That's the way it goes.
Thanks. Our chalice represents the light of hope at the center of our faith tradition. The spark of this flame draws us into our time of worship and community. As I light the chalice, please join me in reciting our congregation's mission statement. To nurture each other, serve the community, and inspire action that heals the world. My dreams, they matter. Though at times I may forget who I am or who becoming, my dreams, they matter. When I make space for all that is, when I move away from that which no longer serves me, when I make space for the new possibility in the circumstances, my dreams do matter. They matter. They hold many truths and many turning points. They matter. Though at times I may convince myself that they don't, they do. For they call me back in time and forward still. My dreams matter. They matter as they pull me inward and yet simultaneously push me outside myself. My dreams matter. They matter as they speak to the breadth of love, of pain, of hope that rests deep in the fabric of my blood and bones. My dreams matter as they are connected to the dreams of my ancestors, connected to all who have graced this earth before, who grace it here and now, and will be connected to all who grace this earth when we grace this place no more. My dreams, they matter. Your dreams, they matter. Our dreams, they matter. They matter. This is by Phoenix Bell Shelton Biggs. Please join me in singing our first hymn, hymn number 86, Blessed Spirit of My Life.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Jenny Copes, and I run the kids program here. So just a few things to share before I read our story. First is that we have some... There's some activity papers for the kids. They can color on this side. and take it home with you and read over this one. And it's about, each week we'll focus on one of the principles, one of the 8 principles that we have. So we don't have a CYA program this summer. The Rainbow Room is open though, so if you need, if your kid needs to take a little bit of a break from this room, you feel free to take them over there. The service should be streaming over there, but they're welcome to stay here the whole service this summer. Also, we have a newsletter. Yay! We just published our first one last week, and it will be put on the website. We'll make sure that it is on the website by the end of this coming week. But there's a couple of copies in the foyer on the welcome booth where all the brochures are. So feel free to take one. We'll print more out as we need them as well. But there's some really interesting information about some of the teams in here, some articles that used to be in the ACE will be put in here, and some denominational connection stuff as well. So lots of interesting things in there. Please take a look at it. And also, this summer, we're not fully closing everything down, as you may know. We have a couple of things happening in July. We have 2 third space events. They're happening on the 10th and the 24th. So it's just a low-key potluck and then a games night. So you're welcome to come out and join us. Children and families are welcome as well. We have some World Cup watch parties, and we have an outing to the Grand River Powwow on July 25. So the announcements are scrolling through here, so you can take a look. They should also be on our website and our social media, so you can always check those places for our wonderful summer events. Now, our story today is called The Path, and it is by Bob Stake. Oh, I don't have the clicker, do I? The path. You will walk. You will walk along a well-worn path that many others have taken before you. Often the path will be easy, flat, and simple. It may take you over gentle grassy hills shaded by towering trees that sway in the breeze. The path might weave through valleys of wildflowers bathed in the warm sunlight. But sometimes it will become bumpy and difficult. It may even be blocked by obstacles that you will need to overcome. It may meander through dark and scary forests, shadowed in mystery and easy to become lost in. The path will zig and zag up steep and challenging hills that appear impossible to climb. And then over violent, raging rivers, both terrifying and dangerous. And when the path becomes muddy alongside a pond or through a soggy swamp, walking may be hard and your journey may be slow. And when it leads into a sunless, chilly cave, it may seem as if the path may simply end. But it won't. The path will surprise you as it splits in 2 different directions. How will you know which way to go? You will know. You will know because those 2 choices aren't the only possibilities. You will know because, like all the others who have walked the path before you, you too will create your own path. Thank you.
In the Free Faith tradition, we are the support and resources of this congregation. Our gifts and donations sustain the many ministries of this church, a community we have chosen to join and support. We will now receive our offering while we listen to our music ministers.
Sure. Definitely a sing-along. There's a port on a western bay, and it serves 100 ships a day. Lonely sailors pass the time away. They talk about their homes, and there's this girl in this harbor town, and she works laying whiskey down. They say, Brandy, fetch another round. She serves them whiskey and wine. The sailors say, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. Oh, your eyes could steal a sailor from the sea. Brandy wears a braided chain made of the finest silver from the north of Spain. A locket that bears the name of the man that Brandy loves. Oh, he came on a summer day bearing gifts from far away, and he made it clear he couldn't stay. No harbor was his home. He would say, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. Oh, my life, my love, my lady is the sea. Brandy used to watch his eyes as he told his sailor stories. She'd feel the ocean fall and rise. She'd hear its rage and glory. But he had always told the truth, Lord, he was an honest man. And Brandy does her best to understand. Do, 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 do. At night, when the bars close down, Brandy walks through a silent town. She loves a man who's not around. She still can hear him say, she can hear him say, Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. Oh, my life, my love, my lady is the sea. Do, 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 do. Brandy, you're a fine girl. What a good wife you would be. But my life, my love, my lady is the sea.
Your gifts in support of our ministries to one another and to the community are appreciated. Thank you so much.
In these moments of contemplation, I invite you to relax, close your eyes if you like, and breathe deeply. Following our reading, there will be a few minutes of silence, followed by music. And during the music, you're welcome to come up and light a candle of joy or concern. This morning's reading is a poem entitled Creating Fire by Stephen Schick. Is the fire going out? Not in your belly, for you're still alive, but in your soul, that place where dreams fuel commitment, where longings shape action, where meaning flames purpose, where passion ignites and rekindles your life fire. If your soul smolders, dream on till you flame like a chalice of hope. Amen. We come now to a time in our service where we affirm the ways that we are connected in this life, as we live into the truth that what affects one of us affects all of us in a spirit of community. Let us open our hearts to one another and to all that we hold sacred. There are no sorrows that have been shared with me today, but we know that sometimes the sorrows within our lives are too tender to share, and we hold those people in our space today to remind us that we are never alone. And alongside the struggles and sorrows of this life, there are also joys to share. And Ron Joyce's 80th birthday is tomorrow. Woo. There he is. He's a pretty amazing guy. I'm going to be going kayaking with you later on. So I think it's tomorrow, isn't it, Ron? And I believe that Ron's family has brought some cake for us to share, which is very cool.
And I want to correct that just a little bit.
Yeah.
It's Ron, in Ron years, it's the 40th.
Oh, Ron in Ron years is his 40th. Okay, yeah, good point. It's really true. Ron has done amazing stuff in his life, and yeah, the more I learn about him, the more fascinated I am. We also celebrate gratitudes in this church, and the work of the church is always humming along, as we know. Sometimes we see the work in visible ways, other times it goes unnoticed, but all of this work is worthy of celebration. And today I'd especially like to offer gratitude to our amazing music team, who share their gifts of music with us every Sunday. Special thanks to Tressa Lavasser, who's going to be playing the hymns for us for many Sundays this summer. So welcome, Tressa. So happy that you're here. And of course to George Savries, our wonderful musician. I loved that first one. That was really cool. And to Rachel and Cindy, the leaders of our music team. Really, it's so wonderful. When I was on the search team and we were talking about what we love about our church, one person said, well, sometimes I'm not really interested in the sermon or whatever, but there's always music, and so I come every week. So we really appreciate our music ministers. If you would like to have a joy, sorrow, or gratitude shared with the larger congregation, you can always do so by clicking the link on our church's homepage online, or by writing something in the binder at the side of the sanctuary. I also have an announcement to make today. The visitor and congregant engagement team is hosting a meet and greet event after the service today. Whether you're new to our church or today is your first time or you've been coming for years, you're invited to stay for an hour or so to meet each other, to ask and discuss questions about our faith. So bring a drink with you into the foyer after the service and make your way to room 7, which is the first room past the foyer. There will be snacks. Thanks so much to the women that do the congregation engagement work. It's so important. So now for my talk, Chasing Dreams. It's a really interesting topic, and Catherine Cowley sent me a message saying, your service title is very interesting and enticing, but rather challenging. I'm not sure what dreams I can still be chasing at my age. So Catherine, never fear. There you are. Never fear, I'm going to tell you some ideas. So we know that every great endeavor begins with a dream, maybe a thought or an idea that gradually grows into a vision for the future. As a young person, you might be filled with a dream about falling in love, starting a career, exploring the world, and we throw ourselves into pursuit of these dreams, convinced that if we try hard enough, our dreams will become reality. But so often disillusionment begins to creep into our lives, or maybe it comes crashing into our lives. Then what? In this talk, I'll explore the power of dreams, their beauty and significance, as well as their shadow side. Sometimes we can become trapped by a dream, unable to let go of it, even when external circumstances make it impossible to fulfill. But that's the nature of dreams. They inspire us, they guide us to action, but they're delicate and they can be shattered. Great sadness comes with the loss of a cherished dream, but we must gradually weave that loss into the fabric of our lives. Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote, "Dare to live the life you've dreamed for yourself. Go forward and make your dreams come true." A call to action. This quotation always reminds me of my Indian father-in-law, Pradeep's dad. I call him Papa Ji. Ji is the suffix that we use to indicate respect, and he is a man that I have the greatest respect for. He grew up in rural India during the 1930s into a condition of extreme poverty. His dad had died at the age of 32 from tuberculosis. Despite the dire circumstances of his life, he managed to complete high school and get a job with the Indian Railways. Pretty soon, a marriage was arranged for him by various relatives, and by the time he was in his mid-20s, he had 3 kids to cope with, including my husband, who was just an absolute terror. But anyway, life was tough, put it that way. But Papaji had a dream. He wanted to study, to learn about the world, perhaps to become a teacher or a writer. He pursued this dream with relentless energy, bicycling every evening to take courses at a local college, and eventually earning a master's degree in English literature. But the demands of family life and the necessity of earning a living meant that he had to put his dream on hold for many, many years. He had a job in the civil service in the Indian government, which was pretty boring, not at all the vocation he dreamed of. But he never let go of that dream, and when he retired at age 58, he immediately began to pursue those dreams that he'd set aside for so many years. He founded a social service organization with a couple of friends, which has gradually grown, an organization providing health care and educational opportunities for poor people in the city where he lived. Within a few years, he was traveling all around India to speak about his work. And he also began to write, focusing on ways to make one's retirement years productive and useful. He's had many books published and never stopped writing. He's now 92 years old and almost completely deaf, but he's become a real expert at computer use, and he's even using AI to flesh out some of his writing ideas with the help of my hubby. He's currently writing a book about the lives of Mahatma Gandhi and Abraham Lincoln, studying the dreams that they had in their lives and the ways in which those dreams were shattered. Gandhi fought for Indian independence from Britain using nonviolent means. Ahimsa, he called it. But his dream for India went far beyond that. He dreamed of an India where Hindus and Muslims would live together in peace. He also had a dream that the caste system would crumble, freeing people who'd faced centuries of oppression. Yet he watched this idealized image of India shatter in his final years. Terrible riots between Hindus and Muslims broke out in the years preceding independence in 1947 over the controversy about splitting the country to form the new nation of Pakistan. Gandhi was devastated by the violence. When Indian independence finally happened on August 15th, 1947, Gandhi called it a tragedy dressed as triumph. He felt deeply disillusioned in the final months of his life, and he was assassinated by a Hindu extremist in January 1948, only a few months after independence. Compare this story to that of Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln's dream was as bold and idealistic as Gandhi's. He envisioned America as a place where slavery was not merely ended, but where its wounds were truly healed. In 1863, he delivered the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring an end to slavery. He guided the country through 4 years of civil war, managing to preserve the Union. Yet he didn't live to see his great vision realized. He too was assassinated just a few days before the end of the Civil War. Both these men were idealists who were inspired by a magnificent dream. And there was important truth in both those dreams. Gandhi was right that his ideal of nonviolence could move history. Lincoln was right that a house divided could not stand. But neither of these men lived to see the fulfillment of the dream. Idealists often believe if they try hard enough, straining every part of their being, that their dream will come true. But when that fails, disillusionment often follows. Gandhi and Lincoln each discovered this in the last chapter of their lives. Yet we know that the dreams these men offered to the world didn't die with them. Dreams can seem fragile, but they have great power. Both Gandhi and Lincoln offered something precious to the world that continues to live, appearing in the dreams and aspirations of millions of idealists working for social change. So this is what my father-in-law's latest book is exploring, looking at these two great men and thinking about the disillusionment that they experienced, and yet their greatness and the vast scope of their dreams. And so my father-in-law asks this profound question: what should idealists do when their grand dream appears to have shattered? Here he turns to the spiritual teachings of the Bhagavad Gita, one of the most treasured texts in Hinduism. In this wisdom tradition, what is most important is to acknowledge the ultimate mystery of the dream. You cannot know how it will manifest in the world. It has its own power, and it may provide a guiding light for others in ways that you can't even imagine. But when you cling to an expectation that you'll see the results of your dream in the way that you hoped, you may be sadly disappointed. Instead, you must move forward with the best of intentions, using your time and talent towards your goal. But then, release the outcome of your actions to the divine, or if you want to say, to the mystery of this infinitely complex world in which we live. You simply can't know how your work will affect others. I'm also thinking of a famous Unitarian theologian, a guy named Theodore Parker. Not too many people know much about him, but he was one of the most radical Unitarians who became a real prophet for the liberal traditions within Unitarianism. He did most of his work during the 1830s and 1840s, during the years prior to the Civil War. He questioned the basic tenets of Christianity and wrote that most of the Bible is simply myth. And he was very definite about that. He was the first person to speak about God as both father and mother. He had a strong belief in social justice, and he was active in the anti-slavery movement. He also endorsed women's suffrage way back then, and he had a deep belief in the power of the democratic process. As time went on, his radical views increasingly alienated himself from others, even from many of the Unitarians at that time, and he became increasingly isolated and disillusioned. He died of TB at the age of 50, never knowing the profound impact his work would have. Yet his dreams lived on, inspiring others in many ways. One of the most famous phrases from Lincoln's Gettysburg Address is "government of the people, by the people, for the people." This was actually written by Theodore Parker several years earlier. Lincoln just lifted it out and used it. He was also the man who first wrote that famous quote, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." Many people think they're quoting Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. when they describe that, but actually, King did use those words, but he was paraphrasing Theodore Parker. I've been speaking about the dreams of Lincoln, Gandhi, and Theodore Parker, but what about the dreams of ordinary folk, people we meet in our daily lives? In my work as a family doctor, I've had the privilege of listening to the hopes and dreams of thousands of patients over the years. Some of these dreams still resonate in my mind. I remember a man who came from a terribly abusive background in which both his parents had serious addiction problems. He grew up in poverty and chaos, and by his teen years, he was smoking, doing drugs, and joined a gang. He'd been in and out of jail on many different charges. On our first meeting, he slouched in the chair before me, staring at me cynically. He told me, "I really dislike doctors, just so you know. They're all full of BS." He would often challenge me like that, waiting and perhaps almost hoping for another rejection. But we slowly began to establish a relationship of trust, and he began to talk a bit about his past and the difficulties of his turbulent childhood. One day, in a rare moment of connection, I asked him, "Do you have any special dreams for your life?" He was silent for a long time. Finally, he said quietly, "Yes, I have a dream. I would like to own a little house in East Hamilton with a yard surrounded by a white picket fence." It seemed like a modest dream to me, but for him, it carried all the power and mystery of something he'd never experienced, of something that seemed virtually unattainable. I've often thought about that image of the white picket fence. What did it mean to him? Perhaps a sense of being on the inside rather than the outside? Perhaps a sense of order and regularity? Perhaps the white picket fence evoked a longed-for sense of respectability in the eyes of the world. Another patient of mine struggled with severe bipolar disorder and had endured many long hospitalizations. Her marriage dissolved and she lost custody of her only daughter. She agonized over these struggles. And yet when she came to see me, what she often wanted to talk about were her dreams for the future. Initially, they were big dreams, becoming a well-known artist, marrying someone rich and famous, living in a house in the country. But as her mental illness worsened, her dreams became more modest. She just wanted a little place of her own, a piano, a quiet spot where she could do her artwork. One day she said, "Do you think I'm foolish to keep talking about my dreams? But you see, my dreams help me to endure the present. Without my dreams, I am nothing." Langston Hughes once wrote, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken-winged bird that cannot fly." How does all of this apply to us at this time in our lives? Now, this is very interesting because when I was planning this service, Catherine Cowley emailed me and said that, "Well, your topic of chasing dreams sounds very interesting, but it's challenging to me because I really wonder how would this apply as we age?" So, Catherine, I promised you I would tell you something about that. So think about your own lives. Perhaps there's a situation in your life where you had a special dream. You tried your best. You threw everything you had into that work. But for some reason, things just didn't work out the way you'd hoped. You felt as if you'd failed. How do you deal with this? First of all, ask yourself, was it really the dream that has failed? Or was it your expectations that grew around the dream? In the Bhagavad Gita, we are advised not to be attached to the outcomes of our work. Instead, we must focus on our intention and the work itself. After that, keep faith. Some elements of your dream will persist and light the way for someone else. And let's not stop chasing dreams as we age. These visions for our life may become more modest than the grand dreams of our youth. Catherine said she thinks maybe she has to let go of that dream to ride horses, to climb mountains. Yeah, maybe. I also want to ride horses again, and my husband says, no, absolutely not, you'll break your hip. But Catherine, I think you and I should just, go and do it, yeah. But the dreams that we have in older age are no less important. Maybe we can use the wisdom we've earned over many years of living to add depth to these aspirations. Here in this congregation, we have some wonderful examples of dreams that have manifested in beautiful ways. Think of the Blooms for Africa work, which started as a dream that Anne Craig Howarth and her friends had. Where are you, Anne? I told you I was going to call you out. She's here somewhere. Yeah, there you are. She was inspired by Stephen Lewis's work to assist grandmothers in India who were looking after children orphaned by AIDS. Blooms for Africa continues to flourish to this day, and in fact, next weekend is the yearly Blooms for Africa tour. Don't forget to buy your passport to explore some wonderful native gardens in our city. And also, in the foyer, we have this wonderful book called Together We Bloom, written by Pat Dickinson. Also a dream in slightly older age, right, Pat? And it's a wonderful book about the story of this dream that manifested within our church congregation. So let me leave you with this challenge. Think about your dreams for the future. Write about them. Talk about them. Then set your intention about how you will move forward. Don't let your dream be crowded out of your life by 1,000 urgent tasks. This church community is a place where you may find people who share your dreams or who can encourage you to pursue your own. As a spiritual community, let's draw strength from each other to create new dreams and pursue them together. Thanks very much. Now let's sing our second hymn. Thank you. I'm going to wait to hear about all of your dreams and what's been happening to them. And now let's sing our second hymn, Love Will Guide Us. It's number 131 in the Gray Hymnal.
Inside us, building the way.
leave this gathered community, but our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith continues. Until we are together again, friends, be strong, be well, be brave. And now let's listen to our postlude. Thank you so much, George.
We'll try another sing-along about dreams. So the last sing-along was okay, but louder this time, please. I couldn't really hear you from up here. They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air. But when you're walking down that street and you ain't had enough to eat, the bitters comes off and you're nowhere. They say the ladies treat you right on Broadway. I look at them, but they just give me the blues. How can you think of making time when all you got is one thing dime? One thing dime won't even shine your shoes. They say I won't last too long on Broadway. I'll take the Greyhound bus for home, they all say. But they're all wrong, I know they are, 'cause I can play this here guitar. And I won't quit till I'm a star on Broadway. I won't quit till I'm a star. We're gonna try that one again together, right? I won't quit till I'm a star. We're gonna do it one more time so we believe it. Here we go. I won't quit till I'm a star.